Dreaming essentially is moving the assemblage point. So that's the definition, and that's what we are looking for, the acquirement of fluidity in our perception. And the movement of assemblage point can happen in three ways. One of the ways is during our waking hours, we can go into a state of inner silence. And we have many different means to do that, to quiet the inner dialogue, different techniques, different practices. And once the inner dialogue quiets down and inner silence appears, inner silence on its own acts as a medium, as a vehicle, as a channel that leads us to fluidity in the assemblage point and to movement of the assemblage point and to any of a large number of different options of perception. So that's one way. Another way is to intend something. So we intend the assemblage point movement by exercising this abstract capacity that we have as human beings to intend. So, for example, I have a dream of creating, Eric and I had a dream of creating Being Energy, of creating a platform where we can interact with the community and transmit what we learned from our teachers and empower you practitioners, right? So that was the dream. And so we can, all of us as human beings, we can conceive the dream that comes from the inside, from our spirit, from our inner drive. And we intend to put ourselves in the dream. We construct the dream and we place ourselves in it with our intent. And we are calling it to manifest. And of course, we have to do many steps of action to sustain that, right? As you know, dreaming doesn't exist without stalking, as inhaling doesn't exist without exhaling in a breath. It's a packet. We need to move the assemblage point, and then we need to get cohesion, make sense of what we're doing there. Otherwise, it's a chaotic and useless affair. So that's a second way, through intending, and that also is through waking hours. A third way is doing sleep at night. And the cycle, we are putting some emphasis in the practices for that aspect. Now, let's ask ourselves, why are we interested in dreaming at night, and what is the purpose of that? It's a very alluring thing. We've all been enchanted by the perspective, and somehow also the enchantment of it makes us lose a bit of the perspective of what is the purpose behind it. Because as warriors, travelers, we need to infuse what we do in life with purpose. Otherwise, it doesn't really have any bearing. So the purpose that we were taught by our teachers and is part of this lineage, the basic purpose for all our affairs in life is to enhance our awareness, to be aware. So to be aware is the goal. And since we sleep a third of our life, then the one of the purposes within the grand purpose of being more aware included the possibility of also being aware during sleep, because we have all our waking hours and we do all the practices to be aware, and then the sleep night is kind of an unconscious time. So can we also translate the pursuit of awareness into the sleeping time? And yes, that's a discovery that there is an avenue and there's a possibility to do that. So that's the purpose of why we want to enhance dreaming at night. Now, of course, it feels cool when we have a dreaming experience of some kind that has energy in it. We get excited. It feels good. It feels interesting. It's new. It's mysterious. And so it's attracting. It's alluring because of that. But it's fine. But we have to keep the eye on the prize, which is that's another of the avenues that we have to become aware and to enhance our perception. So when we go to sleep, uh, two things can happen. Either we are in a regeneration state, repair state, deep sleep, no dreaming in that state. And the body functions are repaired. We process what we know today in science is that we need to sleep because if we don't, we die. And there is a huge amount of repair of body functions that happens during the nighttime. There's a enhancement of an immune system. There's also the psychological and the energetic processing of events that took place. The life experiences that happen during the day need a time to brew and assert themselves, and that happens during the sleeping times. So that's one aspect. And when we are going into the idea of dreaming at night, we have to always factor in what is the relative state of our body that night. Are we spent and tired? Did we have a very full day physically and mentally? And then it might be better just to let go and then allow the body to restore. If we have extra energy, we're on vacation, we are rested, then we can set our intention to have an aware experience during the nighttime because we have the energy for it. Don't forget that all the endeavors that we do require energy. And all the warrior's way is the lifestyle to have a better management of our energy and an enhancement of our available energy. So energy coming into the battle centers and being available to deploy. So the more energy we have, the more naturally and easier it would be to dream. And I say dream in the broad sense of dream, which is to move the assemblage point at any capacity, at any time in our life, daytime or nighttime. So some of us, now we talk about individual differences, because some of us have just a natural disposition to have a lot of activity during the dreams and an ease to connect to the energy body in dreaming at night. And that's just how it is. And you all know in this group, there's a number of you who just this happens always since many, many years, and some of you who never happens, right? Or maybe once in a blue moon. And first is to understand that we have different dispositions, but we tend to sometimes equate our success in the warrior's path with how proficient we are dreaming at night. And I want to break that to all of you. Please just drop that uh, idea because it's just an idea. Uh, the success in the warrior's path is going to be determined by how you handle your energy and how aware are you. And the extent of those things will lead to you being fluid in terms of perception. And for some that is much more evident during the daytime in your experiences, and for some it's at night. Some of us who have a very high disposition at night, we are a disaster during the day, right? I mean, we fall, we are caught within a dialogue, and just in terms of awareness, down. And yet at night, all kinds of things happen. It's a natural disposition. Okay, that being said, we can exercise, we can train our dreaming attention for the night as well as we can do it during the day. Um, the the activity of dreaming in the nighttime is nothing else but an act of exercising and developing our relationship with our energy body. And the gates of dreaming are like lessons. Uh, Many times there's a confusion between one thing are the gates of dreaming, which are these lessons to develop this link to our energy body, at night. And then there's the uh, gates that connect the self to the energy body, that are these gateways in the body that we connect, awaken, and develop to reach the energy body. In a way, it's similar because they're both dealing with getting close to and connecting to our energy body. The gates of dreaming, like one-liners, just to have a easy entry into them. The first gate is being able to place our awareness, our attention on something and sustaining that. So it's a development of our attention, the capacity to hold our attention on something. That's the first gate. That's the lesson of the first gate. The lesson of the second gate is the capacity to, by doing that, to shift from one dream to another dream, to be able to place attention on something and be fully there, and then be able to switch and place attention in something else and be fully there. The act of immersing yourself in something and having the fluidity to let go and flip and immerse yourself fully in a different thing. When we are sleeping at night, that happens automatically when we are having an awareness dream. So whatever's happening in the dream, our attention is on something in the dream, and if that item has energy, we call it energy generating aspect or item in the dream. The act of putting our attention on that item, the first gate, is going to sometimes and often lead us to all of a sudden we are in a different scene, like the dream changed. The dream shifted to a different environment, different people, and then that is then a new dream. And so the flip from one to another one by the act of paying attention to one makes us go into a different dream. That's the second gate. The third gate is when we are operational, when we start to exercise um, things, when we can move, we can translate from one point to another, we can fly and become operational with our energy body. That is the one doing this. And the fourth dream is basically, I mean, 1, 2, and 3 gates. We have 90% of the game. And then the fourth gate is just the mere act of journeying, the journey itself, and that's like the icing in the cake. But as cool as it might be, any of these stages, the point is that we are exercising our awareness. Can we have awareness? Because the dreams have also maps. The dreams are treasure maps. They are like a code that contains new energy. And one of the things we can do with dreams, besides it's fun, feels good to be able to be aware and to change a dream and to be conscious of what's happening, we can also then take that event and find a new energy there.